Hello guys, this is Anil Jain. I'm working as data architect on big data and machine learning project. So today I'm going to talk about installing Rstudio on cloud using Docker. And before actually discussing the agenda and show you how to do it, I'll also talk about the motivation behind it, why we should install Rstudio on cloud. So these are the agenda, why Rstudio on cloud. So here I am going to talk about why we have to do it. Overview of Docker. Since you are installing it using Docker, people should know at least some basic commands of Docker, and then installation steps, and at last a demo. So why RStudio on cloud? As we all know that RStudio is a development ID for data scientists to develop and debug the machine learning related project or code. So many a time what happens is that that the modeling methodology which data scientists adapt may require a lot of time in terms of computation resources, that is your RAM and CPU, which generally are not provided by your local PC or laptop. So in that kind of scenario, my suggestion is that please go for cloud installation of a software for running and testing your machine learning methodology, which otherwise requires heavy computation resources. Advantage of this approach is that get high computation power to run your model as and when you require, and also pay what you use. So these are the steps are there. So before that, before going to next, what is Docker? Docker is an open source project that automate the deployment of application inside software containers by providing an additional layer of abstraction and automation of operating system. That is nothing but your level of virtualization required. So initially Docker was developed only for the Linux machine, then slowly and gradually it got scaled to other OS as well. You may ask me why not go for virtual machine. So the difference between Docker and virtual machine is that Docker is a lightweight virtualization container to provide a full file system isolated networking environment. On the other hand, a virtual machine is a heavyweight container. Underlying host machine infrastructure is not shared, and required libraries are copied to each container. And the same thing you can see on the diagram is that in case of Docker, your libraries uh, are shared, and rather than directly interacting with the host machine, the interaction of the resources always happen using a Docker engine. On the other hand, in case of virtual machine, that these libraries are copied to each and every container. So that's it. If you wanted to know more about Docker basic commands, you can go to Google and type Docker basic commands, and you will come to know that. So now let me talk about the installation steps. Installation steps: first, you should have one cloud machine provisioned. Standard providers are Google and Cloud or AWS. Here I am using Oracle Cloud. So let me toggle my screen. So this is my cloud account, and in my cloud account, uh, these are the instances are there. There are so many instances are there. So I'm going to use this our data stack. I called my instance as the data stack. And if you wanted to create a, if you want to launch a new machine, you can launch it. Again, you can go to and launch instance, and when you don't need this is how you can launch the instance, and you can select the required computation power in terms of resources and CPU utilization. If you don't need it, then you can terminate your instance as well. You can see that terminate, reboot. So this is Oracle Cloud infrastructure. You may go for some other infrastructure as well. So let us not waste time. So I am going to go to my cloud instance using my putty. So this is my, I'm loading it. So I logged into my cloud instance. How to log into any remote machine? It's the same concept using RSA key. So you have to generate your RSA key, public and private. Using a public key, you launch your instance, and using a private key, you log in. So let me go to this presentation. So in the presentation, there are altogether 6 steps are there. First one, get the cloud machine provision and log in as the root user, because for installing any software you should have the root user. Install Docker. Docker installation takes some time, and if you wanted to know some basic command how to install the Docker, just hold on for a moment. So you can go here, and if you go here, it's a very simple command. Don't get scared of Docker. If you are working on Linux machine whose installation manager is yum, so you can either do this way, or you can create the repository. Creation of repository is pretty straightforward. So let me maximize it. So creation of repository, before actually creating a repository, you have to do yum update. Yum update is your installer manager, and for your cloud compute instance, it will download all the necessary softwares. After that, you have to open the docker. You have to create the Docker repo. So let me go here, and I'll show you my Docker repo. So let me type. So you can see that this is the name. I'm just giving the name Docker repository, and this is the base URL. This is where I can get my Docker for this Oracle Linux. This one you can find it on Docker site, and this is the yum. I'm just giving some key. We are calling a Docker project. If you're not comfortable with this way, you can install it by using command. So I prefer this way. So now let us go to the next step. So our Docker is installed on this machine. Okay, so first I'm doing this way, that yum update, and then I'm creating a Docker repository, and then yum update will install the Docker. So these are the prerequisites, step number 1, 2 and 3. Now go to the Rstudio and get the, okay, now we have to install the Rstudio. For that you have to go to the Docker Hub. So if I go to the Docker Hub, this is the Docker Hub URL, hub.docker.com. You can type Rstudio. You can get it, this is the your Rstudio image, Docker image. If you wanted to know the details of it, go and click on the details page. This is, once Docker is installed, this is how you have to give the command. So if Docker is running fine in your machine, so this is not the root user. So let me first go to the root user. I am there in the root user. I'll see what is my Docker version. Okay, so both client and server is there, and I'll see that what all images are there. So Docker images, so these are the images are there. Already I have Rstudio image. If you're not having it, what you have to do, that just type this command which is there on my, so if you do like this, let me do it once again, it will say that image is already existing. So I do like this. Okay, so you see that using default tag latest, it is trying to pull and is seeing that image is up to date, means image is already there. If image is not there, it will take a minute or two time. And after this is done, now we have to create the next step, that is our Docker container. So Docker container is this step, how to create the Docker container, step number 5. So I have my cheat notes, so let me copy it from there. So already I think test Anil is there, so let me give some other name, test Jane. And what I do that, let me see that if any docker container is running. Docker, this is a command ps -a. Okay, so if you see that nothing is running, so we can create the docker container. So I am creating this container. Remember that docker run -d is the daemon. This is the name of my container, testgen. This is the port. So 8787 is the host operating system port, and this 8787 is the docker container port, and this image is already there. Now we're all set. So I'll do like this. Okay, now let me see whether this is running or not. So again, this is the command, docker ps -a. If you see that my docker container is running up 30 seconds, the name of my container is testgen. This is basically Rstudio server is running. So now we have to see whether it is running or not. So let me once again go to step number C. Now to make sure that whether your Rstudio is available over internet, or you can access it via on your browser. This is a command http:/hostname, and this is the port 8787. So let me give that command. Okay, so I think this is my machine, data stack machine. Let me confirm it. What's the machine name? So I can get it confirmation from my putty. So data stack, this is 94, 129. So 94 ending with this. So this is my host name. So now let me go to the browser and just type it. Yeah, so now my Rstudio is available on the cloud, which I can access it from anywhere. You can access it from your mobile phone device. So default password is Rstudio. Rstudio sign in. I think some problem. Rstudio. Okay, let me give the same password. I should not do any mistake. Okay, now I'm inside. Let me see. So here I can directly write command. Okay, this is there, perfect. So see, the data is coming. So hola. So now our Rstudio is there on the cloud, and so let me once again recap what I have done. That first, get one cloud machine. You should log in as a root user, and you should have some basic knowledge about the Docker. How to install Docker? You can go to the Docker page. I have installed using my yum, that is installer manager for Oracle Linux machine. Now get the Rstudio from hub.docker.com, pull that image. After that, create the container. It's a simple command. This will start the studio server. In case if you wanted to directly access on the shell command, you can give it the same command. At last you have to give bin/bash. Now launch the Rstudio in your PC. So hope this presentation is useful to you. So conclusion: when the compute power of your local PC or laptop is not sufficient for model building using Rstudio during development phase, it is advised that you should go for cloud installation, because in that case, as and when you need compute power, heavy compute power, you can instantiate your instance cloud machine, use it, and then you can close or terminate your instance. If you like my presentation, do not forget to upvote this video. Thank you and keep learning.